A change has come over Americans, and it's crossed over all generations. It involves a 5-letter word, and that word is trust. Americans have lost their trust in the basic institutions that make up the foundation of our American way of life. They've lost their trust in their financial institutions, first with the recession and now with the foreclosure scandal that we've seen in the news. They've lost their trust in their employers. 20 years ago, when you got a job, you knew that was your job for life. And now, you don't know if there's security. Today, employers have downsized, they've outsourced, or they've closed their doors. And it's apparent that much of the American public has also lost its trust in government and in the people who have been elected to represent their best interest. Trust. It's a simple word. So what would you do to restore that trust? And Mr. Dijou, we start with you.
Thank you, Paula, and thank you to everybody at KITV for hosting this debate and for all of you for listening here this evening. Paula, you're absolutely right that unfortunately too many Americans and too many people here in Hawaii no longer trust their government with good reason. What we need is a more open, honest, and transparent government. Right now, the United States Congress is dysfunctional and clearly failing the American people. It begins with the fact that this Congress right now has failed to pass a budget for the very first time since modern budgeting rules were ever passed in 1974. We failed to pass any appropriations bill. And worst of all, the current Congress today is spending too much money on programs that do not work with no plan to pay it back. I'm very proud of my record of having worked for an open, honest, and transparent government. First, of course, on the Honolulu City Council, I worked to strengthen the ethics rules at the city government to restore faith and trust at the city. I worked very hard to clean up the troubled Liquor Commission during my tenure while I was a city councilman. And now, as a member of the United States Congress, it is my honor to represent the people of Hawaii, and I continue my work to establish an open, honest, and transparent government. And one of the things that we need to do to establish that trust is submit all bills at least 2 to 3 days before they're voted on, not pass these bills late at midnight with only 15 minutes to read them. That doesn't build trust in the people, and that's got to change.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Dijou. Ms. Hanabusa, what would you do to restore that trust?
Thank you, Paula. Good evening, Charles. We have to understand first what's causing this lack of public confidence, and that's what this is all about. It's a lack of public confidence. And I think there's nothing that causes people to feel so insecure, which results with the lack of trust, as when one wonders about their job, the economy. The reason why jobs are so important is because of the fact that no one cares as much as whether or not they're going to be able to provide for their family, ensure that their mortgage is paid, ensure that whatever little extras that they want to share with their children, that they can do that. That is why I think the first and foremost task of anyone elected and all government is to ensure that the economy starts to pick up to the point that people begin to feel confident in themselves first, in their situation first, and then proceed accordingly. We've looked at this issue in this past legislative session and the legislative session before that. And that is why, in looking at projects, we have looked at how is it the government can go in and kickstart this economy? How is it that we can enhance and ensure that jobs are being created? I believe that that's the way we have to first begin to restore public trust, is by giving people the sense that we know what we're doing and we're putting everything back on the right track.